Hey guys, how are you doing? Today is August 5th, and yesterday PayPal issued the quarter result. And I always said that you have to don't just look at the guidance. A lot of people just look at the guidance and then, okay, this is very good, right? Don't just look at the guidance. Take a look on the numbers. And this is free, right? But I know that actually, if you go to SAC, that printout is a little bit small. The letters are very small, right? But you still have to take some time on some important figures, important numbers. So if you do some very simple calculation, then I don't trust the numbers. I love this stock. Actually, a lot of my friends, right? They are also using PayPal, and I'm using PayPal as well. I'm quite satisfied with what PayPal did a great job on that. Although the transaction fee is a little bit expensive. If I say for Patreon, if you need to take the money out from Patreon, then she will transfer your money into PayPal. No transaction fee, right? No transaction fee. But when PayPal transfer the money back to Hong Kong or maybe to other area, then the transaction fees percentage is quite high. It's about 7 to 8%. Most probably is because it's crossed the border from America and then maybe to Singapore and maybe to Hong Kong, and then it needs to change the currency from US dollar and then to Hong Kong dollar, something like that, right? But no matter what, PayPal did a good job on that, right? But now if we followed PayPal's quarter result for a few quarters already, right? I think that for PayPal to recover, it still have a very long way to go for her, right? Because we know that for MasterCard or Visa, they did a good job on the recovery. But for PayPal, no. The recovery is very small, right? It's not as bright as her guidance says, right? So let us take a very quick look on that. And I may explain them in detail in my Hong Kong channel if we have time, right? And our Falcon portfolio been doing better, right? So you can see that the Falcon portfolio in 29 months raised it back to 62% already. Our lowest is 40%. So it rises at 22% already. So if you want me to analyze any stock, then you can leave your message under the YouTube. Or you can email to me by usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. This is our Falcon 350,000 portfolio. You can see that the portfolio performance is 62%. And then this year, our result is still not good. This year, we minus 16%, but it is decreasing, right? We hope that then it becomes zero, then we will be very happy, right? So this is our covering. There is still a long way for PayPal to recover, right? It's just like Shopify. Or it may not recover, we don't know. And this is yesterday's Dow Jones, dropped a little bit, just a little bit, 85 points. And this is Nasdaq, rised also a little bit, 52 points only. It's because the US 10-year Treasury yield is increased a little bit. The another one is 1 week before, and then the left right hand corner is yesterday night, right? So we can see that then it rised a little bit, just rised from 2.66 to 2.692%, just a little bit. One tech stock that claims it will going very good at the guidance is Calfair. We remember this stock well, right? And then post-market, that means after the market, that means tonight, then it may rise 21% on the stock prices, right? So it's just solely because then it raised is this year, 2022's revenue guidance. But listen to a word from me. Don't follow that. We've been in this trap before, right? And then all slump afterwards, all right? So don't just look at the guidance. Take a look on the numbers. I'm not going to analyze in detail for Calfair because we don't have this stock in our portfolio. But you can see from this very quick one, 3 months or 6 months compared to 1 year before, you can see the revenue increased. That's okay, that's happy, right? But you can see the net loss. Down under, you can see the net loss is nearly a double of 1 year before. Even if this is for 6 months, then it's more than nearly 40% than the loss than 1 year before, right? No matter is GAAP or non-GAAP, it is a net loss, right? So don't trust that, right? Then you should put your money in unless you see a real improvement, not just what they said in the guidance. So we will analyze the same thing in PayPal in a moment. So for PayPal, and we can see that this is the after for PayPal. We can see that the stock price then dropped from more than 300 and then to the lowest. Now it rise up a little bit. It rise up a little bit is because maybe before it dropped too much. But take a look on the PE ratio, 56, right? Not small. Maybe still not reasonable. Let's take a look. And this is the highlight from yesterday's announcement of the performance, right? And it always said that excluding eBay, right? Because eBay is dropping on the legs. But unfortunately, in the reality, it's including eBay, right? So that's no use. That's no use, right? Because in reality, then still is the eBay issue. So we can see that the total payment value for 3 years growth is CAGR is 25%. That's okay, right? And the revenue growth 3 years is 16. That means the compound increment, right? And then the we take a look on the capital return, right? And the capital return, there is a new 15 billion share repurchase authorization, right? 15%, 15 billion is about 13% of the total market cap of PayPal, right? The current market cap of PayPal is 112 billion US dollar, right? And then for this year, 2022, and then the repurchase is 4 billion, right? Just 4 billion. So that is what is at the good news. And then the non-GAAP EPS, earnings per share, is 0.93, right? It's stronger than the guidance for 7 cents. Let's take a look on the numbers. So this is what they said is the bright point, right? And the active account, right, if we compare to 1 year before, is 429 million pairs, right? And then it's 6% increase year over year. But for new active account, it's only 0.4 million pairs. Then for total payment value, 340 billion US dollar, right? And then for 3 year spot, CAGR is 25%. We have this before. And then for the revenue, right? Then for 40% spot year over year growth ex eBay. And then if that is including everything, is 16%, right? And the most, no matter how beautiful those numbers, most important thing is the earning, right? So we can see the earning is the very, very dark point for that is 0.93. But if compared to 1 year before, 1 year before actually is not a good time for PayPal already. Decreased 19%. It's very bad. So no matter how beautiful those figures before, the most important thing for us, if we put our money into that stock, we want to know what is the non-GAAP earnings per share. And this dropped 19% from 1 year before. But 1 year before is bad already. All right. So let's take a look and move on. So we take a look from TPA. That means the transaction per active account, right? You can see that if we compare to 1 year before, good, right? 1 year before, 403, and now it's 429. But if we compare to 1 quarter before, no change. That's the problem. And if we compare to 2 seasons before, 2 quarters before, also no change. 426 compared to 429. So that means no increment. But the point is, for the stock price already reflected 2 quarters before. That's the problem, right? Okay, then this is the fiscal year of this year's guidance. So we take a look on that, right? For the net revenue, they said that for this fiscal year is 27.85 billion US dollar. And then for 2021 FY is 25.37 billion US dollar. The increment is about 9%, 9, right? And then for the non-GAAP earnings per share, what they focus for this year is 3.87 to 3.97. It doesn't matter, right? It just difference is just 10 cents. And then 1 year before is 3.52. It also is about 9% increment. Does this convince you? No. This does not convince me. Why? Take a look on this. Right, this is also from this financial report of this Q2. We can see that if we just compare to first and second quarter of this year compared to 1 year before first and second quarter, let us see what happened. You can see that for the revenue increased 8%. That is a good thing, right? But sorry about that, for the operating expense increased 19%. 19. Probably because of the inflation, probably because of the salary, probably because they have to rent for the server. Maybe they have to rent from Microsoft or Amazon. Everything, or the air conditioning, everything more expensive, right? So the result for the Q1 and Q2 non-GAAP earnings per share, for Q1 and Q2 compared to 1 year's Q1 and Q2, the earnings per share decreased 23.6%. So how can you convince me? From the numbers, how can you tell me you decrease the operating expense? Right? I just want to ask the management board, how can you convince me you are still decreasing? And then you said that in the past 2 quarters, you will suddenly increase it a lot and a lot and a lot and then become positive and 9% better than 1 year before. Cannot convince me, right? So that's the problem. We have to examine the numbers. That's very important. Also, we are not going into the free cash flow. You can see the numbers decreased, right? So don't put your money in PayPal yet unless we see a real progress on that, right? They have to give you a good guidance. Otherwise, then maybe they will be killed, right? They may be kicked off from the company. We don't know, right? But the point is, this kind of things will not trap us anymore, right? If we've been in this track for this year already, so unless you see a real increment, you see a real progress, then otherwise, don't trust that. Don't put your money into that, right? That's only flowers in the water, all right? Okay, thanks for watching, and this is short. I just want to give you some numbers for you to determine yourself, right? So if we have time, then we will explain in detail in our Hong Kong channels. Don't miss it, right? Okay, then if you like this video, please give us a like, and then any comment is welcome, right? So please help to press the subscribe button and also the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is new video uploaded, you will be informed by YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope everyone have a very good weekend. See you next week. Bye bye.